Right? Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakodash. I give double honor to the apostles of great milestone that rule well. Salutations to the men of the hopeful and sincere elect. This is Makazar from the Trinidad camp. Just want to do a little edification for the elect's sake. Alright, now we did this video, a couple of weeks back called Believing and Conforming. Alright, that you don't just believe in the word, that you actually do it too. Alright, and it's not just about hearing, as the scripture say, they hear thy words, but they do them not. Alright, and the word become like a lovely song, because it have people that be passing by and they believe in the word. Alright, they believe, they will come and listen every week attentively, but they won't do it. Alright, it's just that they only for that particular time, they really into the word. They would know they are Hebrew Israelites, they would believe they are Hebrew Israelites, but when it comes to walking the walk, they don't do it. Alright, and that is the reason we did this video, believing and conforming. Alright, so I want to do right now, I just want to do a follow-up on it. Alright, this says Romans chapter 2 verse 13. It says, for not the hearers of the law are just before Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, but the doers of the law shall be justified. Alright, so not the hearers are just, but the doers, the ones that hear and do. Alright, the ones that do the thing that commanded of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the ones that do the thing that are written in the book, the ones that go out and preach, the ones that change their lifestyle, change the way they think, change the way they eat, change the way they speak to people, change their whole character. Alright, I just want to bring out something, real quick. This is Timothy chapter 4, I believe it's verse 13. Not verse 13. Verse boom 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 boom. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is, verse 12. Wasn't verse 13, verse 12. First Timothy chapter 4 verse 12. It says, let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Alright, so when you are a doer of the word, alright, the word becomes your word, it becomes your conversation. Alright, it shows in charity, it becomes your spirit, it shows in your faith, and it shows through your purity. So your whole lifestyle revolves around the word, revolves around the truth, revolves around the knowledge of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And that is when you actually conform to this word. That is when you're actually doing this word. And this is how the Lord requires to be. Doers of the word and not just hearers. Because not the hearers are justified, but the doers. Because when you're doing, you heard, and then you actually conform your life to the scriptures. Alright, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 1 verse 27. It says, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and her converts with righteousness. So when you convert, you turn back, you turn to the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and you do his will. Alright, converts with righteousness. The reason you're gonna be righteous, because the scripture said in 1 John, I can't remember exactly where it is, but it says, he that doeth righteousness is righteous. So it's something that you have to do. Alright, this is what you have to do. This word, this truth is something that you have to do constantly. We're gonna have our ups and downs, but guess what? At the most part, our whole aim, our goal, our whole entity supposed to be to please Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright? This is the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 42. And it says, I said at verse 41. It says, and why beholdest thou the mote in thy brother's eye, but perceivest not the beam that is in thy own eye? Either how canst thou say to thy brother, Brother, let me pull out the mote out that is in thine eye, when thou thyself beholdest not the beam that is in thy own eye? Thou hypocrite, cast out first the beam that is in thy own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to pull out the mote out of thy brother's eye. All right. So now to take the mote out of your brother's eye is because you learn in this word. But to do that, you actually have to cleanse yourself first. All right. You have to cleanse yourself first. You have to do the things written within the law and within the scriptures, the things that Yahweh Shemir Shai commanded us to do before you could actually tell someone else, hey, you know what you're doing wrong. You can't tell somebody to stop smoking while having a cigarette in their mouth. Like, you know, that's something that I saw that was hypocritical with Dr. Sebi. You know, you be all about health, you're a health advocate. And, you know, there was this one video, you know, you had a cigarette in your hand. All right, and that is not a good example to lead. And being in this truth, you have to lead by example. That is why in Galatians, I believe it's Galatians chapter 2, verse 14, it says, Paul said, when he saw that they walked not upright according to the truth, he said unto Peter, if thou being a Jew liveth after the manner of the Gentiles, what compellest thou the Gentiles to live as the Jews? All right, so when you conform to this truth and you actually going out preaching and telling people, you know, to change their life, guess what? You can't do the things that these people doing when you're trying to get them to stop. All right, because if they see you doing the same thing, as the scripture said, be thou one example unto the believers. If they see you doing the same things as they do, guess what? They won't believe your word. They will call you a hypocrite, as the Lord said. It says, verse 43, it says, for a good tree bringeth forth not corrupt fruit, neither doth a corrupt tree bringeth forth good fruit. For every tree is known by his own fruit. For of thorns men do not gather figs, nor every bramble bush gather they grapes. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. So when your heart conform to this truth, guess what? You're going to bring forth good fruit. You're going to speak good things. All right? It says, and why call ye me Lord is the point. Why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will shew you to whom he is like. He is like a man which built an house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently and upon the house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock. Because guess what? The scripture said every man's work shall be tried. All right? You have to stand the test, because guess, coming into this truth, you're going to be tried. All right? But once you believe and do the things that Yahweh Shemir Shai commanded, guess what? He going to strengthen you to withstand everything. It says, but he that heareth and doeth not is like unto a man without a foundation, built an house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. Right? So just want to look up something here real quick. Right? All right, when you look up the word adhere, the word adhere means to stick fast to. All right? Or believe in and follow the practice of. All right? So when you adhere to this truth, you believe and you practice it. All right? It's you get to this word, and I believe that is what I'm going to call the video. I believe and do. You do. This is not something you just be with, something that you do constantly. All right? And the scripture said you have to be rooted, For you to be rooted and grounded means you growing in this truth. For you to be good means doing this truth. Alright, this is something that you have to be doing constantly. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 42. Alright, it says, verse 42, it says, watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord doth come. Alright, so when you're watching, you actually, you're keeping yourself clean and to present before the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It says, but know this, if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. It says, therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. So then, alright, so we don't know when Yahushai coming, but we watching for these signs, so we have an idea around what time. So we watching constantly. It says, who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord had made ruler over all his household, to give him meat in due season. Basically, to give him the kingdom. It says, blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find him doing. So the Lord had to come and find you doing this word. Alright, not just knowing, hey, Lord, you taught in our streets. Nah, the Lord don't want to hear that. The scripture said, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. Alright, because you hear the word, but you don't do them. Alright, verse 47, it says, verily I say unto you, that he shall make him rule over all his goods. You're going to give him the kingdom, alright? Kingdom of Israel, kingdom of heaven. But if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, basically, you're going back into the world, or doing the things that are in the world. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour when he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. For there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And you don't want to be, weeping and gnashing of teeth. Alright? We want to be in the kingdom with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Alright? Drinking that good wine. We want to be in the kingdom. Alright, so to be in the kingdom, you have to be a hearer and also, above all, a doer of the word. You have to be a doer of the word. You have to adhere to this word and stick to it, hold fast to it. Alright? The final precept. This is the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 20. Luke chapter 8 verse 20, it says, and it was told him by certain which said, thy mother and thy brethren stand without desiring to see thee. And he said unto them, my mother and my brethren are these which hear the word of Yahweh and do it. And there's a straight cut. These are the Lord's brethren. These are the ones that the Lord called family. Alright, hence no more I've called you servants but friends. These are the ones that the Lord called friends. The ones that hear the word of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai and do it. And for the Lord to call you a friend, you have to do this word. And you have to do it sincerely and fervently. You have to do it with a willing heart. As Paul said, hey, if I do this thing against my will, then guess what? You ain't going to receive the kingdom. You have to do this word willingly. Alright? So with that, as the scripture said, I desire to do thy will. This word not supposed to be an obligation or a burden to you. It's supposed to be a desire. Alright? So with that, I want to give our praises, honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles of great men who not rule well. Salutations to the men of the whole land, saints elect. This is Marcus saying, Shalom.